the big cup, the big cup of coffee on Friday, y'all. Good morning, everyone. KJ here. I thought this week kind of went by pretty quick. I keep thinking there's no way today is Friday. Good morning, CHP. How are you doing? Um, I woke up this morning. I woke up and I went down the hallway. I was in my tank top and underwear. I know y'all want to hear this shit, but anyway, I was walking down the hallway, just going to the coffee maker, zombie me, making it to the coffee maker. I walk out into the living room to go, the living room's kind of attached to the kitchen and the dining area, the big 10-foot ceiling room, and Andrew's sitting at the table. And here I am in my tank top and underwear, and I just immediately, without saying, "What are you doing here? Hi," anything, I just turned myself back around and walked back down the hallway. He's like, "Mom, are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm sorry." I said, "I didn't know you were in. I didn't know you were in here." Uh, he had come by to turn in some receipts for the business or whatever, and he usually has never come in, but he knows he's got his own house key. He can come in anytime he wants. Good morning, Deborah Rivers. Good morning, Ann Gibson, Vix Tex, Dog Mom, Stacy Hanlon. I mean, call me old fashioned, y'all. They've got damn women out here that wear these damn bikinis, bathing suits, and even the one pieces, y'all. Some of them are a little risque. And then you got all these damn Hollywood people walking on the red carpet in these see-through damn uh, dresses and stuff. And you got all this sexualized shit all over the damn TV. But it devastates me to think that my son saw me in my underwear. I guess it's just the old-fashioned me, y'all. Hi, Vintage Mama 3. Hi, Just Me. Right, Just Me. Uh, Hello, Nancy Bergbauer. So that's how my morning started. And y'all, it just seems like yesterday was Monday and it's already Friday. So instead of sitting in my robe, I had to come back in the room and throw some clothes on to go back in there to deal with him. But it was a nice surprise because even though me and Andrew and CJ are very close, it's not like they're up my ass all the time. They're grown men, they got their own stuff going on. Good morning, Olive Heatley. I think modesty is a beautiful thing. It's just gotten lost, has it not, people? Has it not? Hey, what's funny is he never, acted like it was anything when I went back down the hallway out of view, and I'm like, and I yelled down the hall and said, "I'm sorry, Andrew." He's like, "It's okay, Mom." Oh, well, Ann Gibson, you've got one going on, because OKJ ain't doing no damn cleaning until I wake my ass up. I've got some more laundry to do. I've got to finish cleaning up the kitchen and the bathroom and the living room. The rest of the house, not today. How about that? That's how I'm going to say it. Hi, Elba Lopez. So anyway, the weekend is upon us. I had received a couple of comments yesterday about, because y'all, I don't keep up with, I'm not one of these people that are going to just keep up with the news on the Chad and Lori Daybell case, from moment to moment. I've got other shit going on. I try to stay current. And I have the Rays to thank for a lot of them letting me in on stuff. But I got some comments yesterday about Tammy Daybell's aunt who wanted to do a victim impact statement in place of Tammy's mother who had passed away. And that makes all the sense in the damn world. Somebody needs to be there to do a victim impact statement for Tammy Daybell. I mean, I know what I've told y'all. Some of y'all really remember everything I say. I'm like, what the hell would any of Tammy Daybell's family want to do doing a victim impact statement at the damn Hussey's sentencing? They don't want nothing to do with that woman. And there was not a single one of those family members there during Lolo's trial. So I was like, they don't even want to acknowledge this scumbag woman of Lori. Lori says her aunt wants to do a victim impact statement and this judge is off and protecting the wrong people, aka Lori. I've been thinking about this. These questions pop into my mind about legality. And I'm like, is there anything that can be said in a victim impact statement that could cause any kind of appeals issues? That's something that I'm going to have to continue to have to look into. Nancy Bergbauer, from what we know, he's not going to allow her. Some of the comments were that, and I haven't checked any of the news articles. It's my understanding, this is just word of mouth, I can't confirm it, that they're going to fight this ruling, appeal it or whatever, so that the aunt of Tammy Daybell can give a victim impact statement. Hi, Chris Arnett. Right, Chris Arnett's letting us all know the last that Chris has heard, the judge wasn't allowing it. So it's just another blow to victims' rights. I think the Rays and I have all figured out very quickly over time. I mean, we had our suspicions. We had our frustrations before the trial, during the trial, and now even after the trial, that the state of Idaho, it seems that they're more concerned about the rights of the convicted now. I mean, it's one thing when you got the rights of the accused. You want to make sure that they get their trial so that they can't get off on technicalities or anything like that. But this damn hussy is convicted. She is a serial killer. Judge Boyce has done something very important in that he has shut the door on giving this hussy a new trial. They filed that motion for a new trial. It didn't fly. Hold on, I gotta let the cats in. Come on, Tylee. Come on. Ty, come on. Quit slow poking me. Just come on, because I'm not going to sit here and be the damn valet here. Come on. Come on. Tylee, come on. Sometimes these cats, they just fly through the door. They like they've been shot out of a cannon. And then sometimes they just sit there. You know they want to come in. But they want to make sure that they've got me trained. They want to make sure that I stand there with the door hanging wide open all damn morning. Good morning, Kimberly Sisk. Right, just me. The judge doesn't want grounds for appeal. I get that. It's just, as Nancy Bergbauer says, it's so upside down. All right, Jennifer Esslinger. I only have myself to blame, right? You cat owners out there, you know what I'm talking about. Uh, we think, oh, we'll get them in a routine. We'll let them know where their food and their water. You know, we put them through different places in the house. It ain't just one little stationary place. And then if they decide they want to leisurely stay outside and play around and act like a dang Lion King, you got cat feeders out in the garage where they can just go and nibble when they want. It is. It's us up and down like a yo-yo, Olive. Perfect example there. But I do love the cats, I do. But they definitely do train me. And some of y'all are saying on here, T Diva is saying my dog has us trained, and there's another one in here. Kimberly Sisk says my dog does the same way. The court systems are completely, you don't say what they're completely are, CHP, but you say, I have a cute Pomeranian that is driving me crazy. But what would we do without our fur babies, right? I whine and complain like I just did about my cats coming in the house, opening doors, shutting doors. But I love them dearly. Yes, you're correct on that, Jennifer. They are very entertaining. Hi, awesome sassy sauce. They are. Pets are so funny. CHP finishes. The court systems are completely broken. So it will not be complete now that I've really had time. I know what my initial opinions were. I was like, Tammy's family ain't gonna want to be around that damn prostitute. And then I said, well, at Chad's trial, they'll be there. Because we never saw hide nor hair of any Tammy's family. And we're like, they don't even want to acknowledge her. She's such a scumbag, right? They're above this convicted murderer of their family member, Tammy Daybell. But I was surprised. Y'all know how much KJ's wrong about things. I give an opinion, and most of the time it's wrong. But the aunt there of Tammy Daybell, she does want to say what she wants to say. One can only imagine. I guess if I had to share with y'all what I think Tammy Daybell's aunt would say, which is, come on. Hey, Kathy Mama Bear. I'd say she would probably stick to a victim impact statement that would say all these wonderful things about Tammy Daybell. I don't think they would go for the jugular with Lolo there. I don't think they would personalize it to absolutely address her like they're saying, Lori, you did this or that. I think they would be kind of distant from making it so personal about them talking to Lori, and it would just be a victim impact statement telling all the wonderful things about Tammy. Olive Heatley, we were talking about that remember when Larry Woodcock doesn't get to do a victim impact statement, and we were like, well, he can go on national news and he can give his victim impact statement. I think that would be great news. I think everyone in the freaking world wants to hear what Larry Woodcock has to say. So I guess that would transition over into other people that wanted to give victim impact statements that were not allowed to, along with anyone else. So, I guess that's up to Larry or any of the other victims' family members if that's what they'd want to do. But I can tell you this right now, news organizations would definitely want to have them come on and would want to know what those victim impact statements are. And besides that, if Larry Woodcock wants to give a victim impact statement, there ain't a better place to give it than Difficult Research, Cresha K. Easton's channel. He could come on there. Hopefully, maybe she can talk to him about it. Because I know Larry's got a lot to say. What I'm curious about, and I have all confidence about in terms of Kay Woodcock, is that she's going to have a very good victim impact statement. I still have that question. Will Kay include Charles Vallow? And I'm not talking about including Charles Vallow as in I'm giving my victim impact statement to Lori in front of everyone at the sentencing hearing, and I'm accusing Lori of murdering Charles. I'm talking about Kay Woodcock talking about Charles Vallow and the love she had for her brother and all the good qualities he had. I don't know. I've looked and I still can't find it whether or not these victim impact statements have to be turned in ahead of time so that the judge can look them over. Because, y'all, even in every stage of a judicial process, a criminal case such as this, I'm not exactly sure, and maybe some of y'all do know, whether a victim impact statement could cause any kind of issues that can be brought out on an appeal. Hi, Bama Cat. So, that's the latest, excuse me, that's the latest news on that. And it really is very disheartening that the legal definition of a victim of crime is so narrowly focused. I understand that they've got to have something there that defines it in Idaho law, because then anybody and their mama gonna come in there and give a victim impact statement. We all know that even though I've met Larry and Kay and Cresha and their family, but say I never did get to meet them face to face, this case still would have hurt me. And I know it hurt many of the Rays on here. It has affected us. I mean, could y'all imagine old KJ giving a victim impact statement? I mean, I did. I tried to give a mock one on one of my earlier videos. But even then, I'm not a victim. And I made that clear. It's just, to kind of break down this whole thing about it's got to be immediate family. Well, I'm going to tell you what. There are extended family members that are just as invested in their family and love their family just as much. And if it's a problem for Idaho to allow an extended family to come in there, I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn how many damn family members want to give victim impact statements. If it takes all freaking day. You think Cresha doesn't deserve to be up there giving a victim impact statement? Or how about Cresha's children? Her daughter, who was there, pulling up with Kay, as Cresha was telling us in one of her live streams. She had to go through that too. It just aggravates the shit out of me. And the good Lori, Laurie on here, makes a great point. There are all kinds of blended families. I mean, they talk about, the United States of America, it's the melting pot of all these cultures and everything. Folks, our families, no matter who they are, They're very diverse. If you want to get down to the nitty gritty, oh, KJ's a Heinz 57 sauce. I'm a damn mutt. I've got Irish, French, Native American in me. Oh, but the media and other people who have been conditioned, they look at me and think, damn, that's a white woman there. Well, I'll tell you what, you see that thermometer right there? You see the white thermometer? Do I look white to y'all? No. I don't know what color I am. But I'll tell you this right now, it shouldn't even matter about that. I'm sick and tired of everybody being labeled because of the color of their skin or anything else. I'm trying to prove a point that I'm sick of everybody in the media and these people that are so narrow-minded, they put you in a freaking category. And now we've got examples of a judicial system and the laws in Idaho Code that talks about, oh, we're going to define what a victim of a crime is. They should post a picture of JJ's biological mom's memorial and give 5 minutes of silence as a victim statement. See, Diva, that shows that you have a heart, that you would even think about that. You think these people over there in Idaho running these court systems give a shit? No, they don't care. I love you too, Lori. The good Lori. Hi, Bonnie Lee. Many of the Rays on here saw KJ over these, 3 years now. I'm sitting there right on the live stream or the pre-record, especially the first 6 months of opening the channel. Me sitting there, you could actually see that KJ was just learning what I could. You know, I knew some of the terms, I knew some of the things in the legal world through going to college, but they were very generic things that I knew. And I believe I've got a lot of justice through understanding. What hurts me about it is before I really covered this case, you know, I was like, well, the only thing we've got against these evil people in the world that do this is to lay the hammer down and seek justice, that term justice. See it played out through adjudication. See it happening. Maybe it will relieve this feeling that I know that many people have where they're like, where can we turn to get some justice from all the evil that's done in this world? It seems like evil just gets to flourish and prosper while the innocent gets murdered or mistreated. And so I've learned that through specificity of this case, and you could apply some of these topics of this case to other cases in other jurisdictions, other states, and even around the world, that it's not what I thought it was. There's a percentage, and I can't put my thumb down on how big the percentage, but there's a percentage of my worldly view, or however you want to call it, that has been disrupted. It's like I've had to shift my view over the facts that I have learned. And it's sad because, you know, they say ignorance is bliss. Before I covered this case, it's not that I had 100% of my confidence in the judicial system. I honestly, I knew that we've got serious issues with the laws and the way that the administration of justice, the procedures in court systems, and all of that. There are plenty of really big time examples like O.J. Simpson, Casey Anthony, things like that that let us all know that no matter how guilty someone is, they can walk right out the door. I knew all that, but I didn't ever really home in on victims' rights. You know, you think that any family member of Charles Vallow or the children or Tammy, any of them, I don't give a damn if it's a distant relative. I don't care if it's your fourth cousin from your mother's side, whatever. You should be able to go and give a victim impact statement. All I know is that um, if we ever really wanted a complete picture, and I know the Rays do, and I know I do, I'm a firm believer that whatever is said out the mouth, number one, it can't be taken back. Number two, I think people should measure what they say think before they speak. That's something I have to work on myself. So when I say these things, don't think I don't make mistakes myself. I make a lot of them. But if we wanted a complete picture, I think whatever is said, word for word, at this sentencing hearing from Kay Woodcock and Summer Shiplet and Kobe. I mean, we're talking about 3 freaking murders and only 3 people get to talk about it. Only 3, according to Idaho, have been impacted. Only 3 in Idaho are victims. Give me a break. We're talking about, we've heard it over and over and over again. This is a voluminous case. This is so complex. This is serial murder here. This is a big case. And yet the judge will only allow 3. Give me a break. You're right, Hope Grace. You're 100% right. Jesus said it's what comes out of the mouth that defiles the man. I get that. I understand that. But I'm talking about, I don't care if Kay Woodcock said what, they better allow her to say whatever the hell she wants to say. This isn't just about an impact on Kay or Larry or Crush or any of this. Is their healing process. This is part of their healing process. And the judge has ripped that away from extended family members. To be able to say what you want to say to the person that murdered your loved one. They're taking that away from extended family members and their healing process. It's not right. It's not fair. Bonnie Lee says, I don't think Summer will speak. Well, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't. But I think she knows that she's got to seal this up for herself, because she's already said a bunch of shit that she can't take back in text messages and all kind of stuff. And this whole idea of her and Rob Wood before, you know, where they have that secret recording from that slimy Garrett attorney where Summer says, I just, I'm for my sister and I'm for the state too. I know, y'all. She's the sister of this damn serial killer. I know she loves her sister. But the bottom line is she needs to seal it up. She needs to. If she has any integrity at all, she will give a victim impact statement. She don't have to attack her sister. She just needs to get up there and speak for Tylee. Because the judge gave her the representation of Tylee. And she better damn well do it. Because Tylee deserves it. Nancy Bergbauer, the judge came out with that thing saying that Summer could give a victim impact statement. Kobe could give a victim impact statement, and Kay Woodcock could. But nobody else. Somehow, some way, he doesn't, and the laws of Idaho don't seem to understand that there are people that are hurt, that are in these families. We've seen, many of us have seen it firsthand with Krisha K. Easton, the trauma she's experienced. Kathy Mama Bear, I don't know if you've missed anything good, but I can tell you this right now. You're missing KJ's special cup of coffee. Because KJ makes really good coffee. That's what you're missing, Mama Bear. Yeah, definitely. Hello, Daughter of Scotland. So, I don't know the process of what Tammy's sister, not Tammy's sister, Tammy's aunt, what the process is to fight this, appeal this, or whatever. When I was reading in what a crime victim was, it doesn't tell me that there is a process in place to appeal a decision on whether someone is a victim or not. And if I can't find it, then the bottom line is whatever Judge Boyce said in that order about who were the victims, that's going to stand. Ooh, Daughter of Scotland is on an archaeology dig. I love archaeology. I've got rocks all over my house. It all started when my children were little. They'd say, "Look, Mommy," and they'd give me a rock. And I couldn't, once your child hands you a rock, I don't care if it's a piece of concrete, you're going to hold on to that because they brought it to you as a gift. Started my love. I know archaeology is not geology, but it started my love of rock collecting. And I read all these articles when they find things in archaeology. They found a hidden Mayan temple down in Mexico. I'm absolutely just really interested in Egyptian archaeology. Wow. Daughter of Scotland found a Roman coin. Wow. Pretty awesome. I don't know. I always felt like deep in my gut, and I feel like just deep down, that we can learn a lot from archaeology about ancient times and stuff. It's almost like I flock to it because there's something about it that makes you feel like something's missing that you want to know and you're not quite sure what that is, if that makes sense at all. So I'm not sure about this Zoom thing of Chad Daybell. That's supposed to be the 20th. And by the way, this SOB out of Franklin, Tennessee, who raped these children, his initial court date was supposed to be July 25th, and I read an updated article saying it's been moved to August 17th. And there's still no word on whether he has gotten himself an attorney yet. But make no mistake, slime balls get their defense attorneys here in the United States, whether they're good ones or bad ones. The bottom line is he will get his legal representation. And whoever takes his case and defends him can kiss my country ass. I know they got to do it. None of us are saying that defense attorneys are just like John Pryor and Archie and Thomas. They're not the villains. They've got to do this. If they weren't there to defend the hussy and Chad Daybell, then they couldn't get convicted and sent off to prison. Or in Chad Daybell's case, hopefully, we'll get the death penalty. He can sit on death row and be Bubba's little toy. I'll tell you what, Jennifer Essling, you're in Daughter of Scotland. Okay, Jay, for some reason, when we empty out our pockets every day, there's always a bunch of change. And I've got barrels up, not big barrels, but, I've got lots of change. And I sit down and I dump all this change out when I get it. And I look for the leaf pennies, the old pennies. Sometimes you'll get some of these other coins mixed in with it where people use them. And I collect them. Andrew collects coins. He's got some whoppers. They're just old coins. That's what they're called, right, Hope Grace? They're called wheat bags. And I've got lots of $2 bills, too. That's interesting that you would bring that up. Good morning, April Gann. Yeah, right, just me. It's a wheat penny. I don't know. I mean, I don't much care for the new quarters, the state quarters. I like the old quarters. I like to look at the coins and see what the dates are. If I find any coins that say 1971 on them, I keep them. I don't care if they're a penny, nickel, dime, quarter, because I was born in 71. Wow, Jean Fatou still has steel pennies. You see every once in a while an article that'll say, if you find this penny, you could make hundreds of thousands of dollars. Well, you got to find a buyer first of all. Awesome Sassy Sauce says, new quarters look fake and much lighter weight. Young person would not take my silver dollar at Po' Boy's shop. Are you kidding me? I would have took it. If I'd have worked there, I'd have took it, and I'd have put the right amount of change in there and took that home with me. I didn't know, Hope Grace. I've never heard of paper silver dollars. I've never heard of that. Well, April Gann, if your dad's got that, I'm going to tell you what. There are buyers out there, and they're worth something. They really are. I mean, if someone can get 5 cents from 1 penny, that's a profit, right? I've often wondered whether it would even... I know this is going to sound silly to y'all, but I thought, well, I know a few of the cashiers, and I could go to them and I could say, hey, if you get any wheat pennies or any kind of coins or whatever, I'll pay you, a nickel for every penny. All you have to do is take that penny, take one of your own pennies, a regular penny, and put it in the register, and then I'll get with you. I've thought about that, y'all. It's interesting y'all bring this stuff up. Julie Thompson did a 175 square foot penny floor in a sunroom. Wow, that's awesome. Oh yeah, I remember the phone booths, Nancy. I'm sure your brother's got it going on. You don't got a pay phone this day and time, y'all. It's just really wild how everything's evolved. That's the interesting part about growing older. Okay, Jay's not old. I'm just growing older, just like everybody else on here. We are not old. We are growing older. We have seen so much technology and things that have happened. I mean, for God's sake, look at the price of stamps for a damn envelope. I mean, the way that things are now. I mean, where you could buy things so cheaply, and now it's like, you look at the price of a freaking dozen eggs or bread or a gallon of milk or whatever. I mean, my God, who do they think we are? I mean, it's just crazy. Yeah, just me. I remember when you could put a dime in a public phone booth. I remember, here's a quarter, call someone who cares. Travis Tritt, I think, that song aged well, didn't it? Yeah, Jennifer Esslinger, let me just kind of sum what Jennifer's saying up. No matter what we talk about, y'all, about our own lives, the cup of coffee, the coin collecting, the whatever it is, Lolo ain't never going to get to do none of that. She's never going to get to have any things that we get to enjoy ever again. Have a great day, Jean Fatou. That's right, Angela. Good old Travis Tritt. So, no one said that we were going to be able to fill our time raise with continuous talk about this case. As many of you know, we have delved into every damn aspect you could possibly think of. KJ even I've done all kinds of things, from reading New York Times best-selling author books on this case to whatever I was doing. I don't believe that my imagination has run out, but in terms of news on this case, we're just going to have to take it in stride. The reason I am covering the Franklin, Tennessee case, first and foremost, is the subject matter itself needs to be taken and brought out into the light. But I would be remiss to not say that it does fill time, but it fills time in a proactive, wanting to do something right and good for anyone that might visit the channel, or even the Rays on here who might want to learn a little about child sexual abuse. I am currently gathering together the comments on the Franklin, Tennessee case to be able to bring to you from the Rays on here. Make no mistake, I read every one. The ones that have commented on this case, you're going to hear your comments read. They're important. Not everybody reads the comments, so I will gather those together and we'll put some of them spread out into pre-records as they relate to whatever I'll be discussing. Yes, just me. I'm one of those. It's triggering for me. This does not mean that I am 100% over what happened, but I feel like not with my strength, but I feel like my God's strength that, I prayed about it, meditated about it. Any good thing, y'all, any good thing that I have ever done in my life, it ain't me, because all good and perfect things come from above. So anytime I've done something right, I really don't want to pat myself on the shoulder about that, because it's not about me at all. It's about glorifying God and knowing that if I did do something good, folks, my nature wants to do bad things. My nature wants me to do things that aren't good for OKJ. Hello, Jody. Hi, Kathy Barella. Kathy, when you say that Chad's trial might go quicker than Lori's, I think the state has had their trial run and got excellent results because of it. But make no mistake, Kathy Barella, Archie and Thomas are not John Pryor. Okay? John Pryor, y'all, John Pryor's going to take up some time in the upcoming trial of Chad Daybell. John Pryor's already talked about bringing in experts. Did Archie or Thomas do anything like that? All they did was cross-examine. That's all they did. They didn't even, they didn't call any witnesses. John Pryor will call witnesses, y'all. That's what John Pryor's going to do. So where it was efficient in that Lori's defense didn't do all these things that they could have done, John Pryor's going to do them. Make no mistake. And y'all know I've been wrong about a lot of things. I said I was so sure that the hussy would go on the stand. I was wrong about that. But I'm not wrong about John Pryor. Well, Ann Gibson, when you say, I often wonder would I have been different if the abuse hadn't happened. I can sit here and tell you, if I ask that question to myself, I can't speak for you. But for me, I would have been different. I would have been different. Would I have been better than I am today? Honestly, my opinion is no. I don't think I would have. I would have avoided a lot of the things that I did that was reactive of what had happened to me. Like when I was 15, I ran away from home. I would have never ran away from home. And I could go down a laundry list. But ultimately, somehow by the grace of God, when I look at the things that I've done, that I purposely chose to do, that were not good things, that were sinful things. Number one, I cannot put all of that off on my experience that happened to me, because I still ultimately had a choice. But I understand when your self-esteem and depression and all those things that kick in because of the child molestation, what I'm trying to say is that I've come to a place where I realize there's no way that this was something naturally that happened to me coming out on the other side of what had happened, that God's intervention had to have been part of that. What doesn't kill us makes us stronger is not just a catchphrase. To have these terrible things happen and then to go on and the residual effects of what has happened makes even more bad things happen. I consider it like a refinement process, because the sun rises and the sun sets on the good and evil. That's scripture. And so what I mean by that is the sin and the bad things that happened after this throughout my life, and the difference that I was because of it. The good Lord made it to where it refined me from a piece of old junky, crappy raw metal, and the refinement process of the sin, the devastation, the pain, the trauma. It has refined me. Am I pure gold? I don't think so, but I'm at least in better shape than an old piece of clunky metal. Does that make sense? And that process of all those bad things happening, and then I came out and I feel like I'm really aware and more compassionate, more understanding. That process to me is something from my good Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. To be saved, to know that He died on the cross for my sins, to know that I didn't need to allow what happened to me to make me turn my back on my beliefs of something that was true in my life. Good morning, Lily Jahan. I want to be clear with y'all. OKJ is a work in progress. I've got so many issues, you just don't know. I've got so many character defects. I've got things that I need to work on. And there are things about me that I have not figured out yet how to make better. There are habitual behaviors, thoughts, feelings that want to take control and be an endless like a reel over and over again. But I am actively trying to stop that thing from going full circle time and time again, just habitually thinking these thoughts or habitually behaving these ways, and trying to replace that, whatever that is, with something meaningful, something truthful, something real. And that is my belief in my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Good morning, Sam Willow. Good morning, Grammy B. Just Me says, I think all roads lead you to where you're supposed to be. And I can agree with that to a degree, because if I had to visualize what life is, there is this road that God wants a person to be on, and there's many side roads that we create that get us off the track. But the good news is no matter how far off the side road we go, God is going to chastise old KJ, and I'm going to come back down that road. I'm going to come back, and during the process of coming back down that side road, I'm going to learn lessons from it, and I'll go back on the road that the good Lord wants me to be on. It's not an easy road. It's not a wide road where I can, do whatever I want on that great big road. It's a narrow road. And trust me when I say that narrow road makes OKJ want to go off the side roads because it's hard to maneuver. Good morning, Susan Honecker. Well, Kathy, Mama Bear, you gotta give priority where priority is due. You gotta take care of the coffee pot. You need to get your coffee. You don't worry about it. There's a such thing as a rewatch. You can come back. I want y'all to know that to come on this live stream and be here with me means so much to OKJ. I love you all. If you haven't figured that out by now, you got to know it. You got to know it. Good morning, Cosette. Bonnie Lee says, even though I've been through a lot, I wouldn't change any of it because it made me who I am today. And Bonnie Lee, I think for the most part, I think people can understand that. And, hey, the good news is because that is such a truthful statement, it made you who you are today, what you've been through. If you've got that awareness, right, then today and down the road with that awareness, you can chart your course better because you've been given that grace from God. You've been given that awareness. Many people never do see it, y'all. Many people never see those types of statements in their life. They just blindly go through life. They don't even stop to think of any of these things that can help build their self-esteem, their confidence. And these things are truthful things, nourishing things. So there is a lot of unseen, and what I mean by unseen is you can't go over here. I've said this before. You can't go over here in KJ's room and open up a drawer and pull out compassion or love. Or those things are invisible, but they're real. You see them. You see the compassion. You see the love. You see the hurt. You see all these things through demonstration of not only your own life, but through others. Ann Gibson says, I found it so hard sometimes to be good. I make mistakes all the time, and I have a wild side. Well, Ann Gibson, OKJ's got a wild side. Okay? Imagine that. Let me tell you what, if I focus solely on my mistakes, the sins I commit, the wrongs that I do, if I solely focus on that, what else is there? I mean, I understand focusing on these things if you're going to try to do something about it. But if you can't do nothing about it, this is the way I see it. If I've done something that is wrong to someone else, I will do what I can to make amends to that. If I do something to myself or, and it's got no one else or whatever, I go to God. I talk to him. I tell him I did this. I talk to him specifically about what it is I've done, and then I ask him to forgive me. And if I have the faith to believe that he will forgive that sin, then it's gone. I don't have to deal with it anymore. I don't have to focus on it anymore. And trust me, y'all, God forgives past, present, and future. I was so hung up for years. Evil was so damn happy that I was so hung up for years on my mistakes of the past. Those things that I did really, it just blew my self-esteem out of the water. I had gone to God about these things in specificity. And I asked him to forgive me. And I felt like he'd forgiven me. But Lord knows down the road it would pop right back up. And I would think to myself, are you really going to revisit something that you gave to God and asked him to forgive you of? Are you really going to think that you're more than God? You either decide that God is going to take that sin away, and he has, or you really didn't believe it in the first place, because here I am revisiting it, wallowing in it, telling myself I'm not a good enough person, telling myself that how can you even talk to people about Jesus when you've got these things that you've done in your life? Folks, if it takes someone who's never ever done anything wrong to speak of truth of Jesus Christ, nobody would speak his name. Good morning, Cindy Bullock. That's right, Hope Grace. as soon as I realized that there is a difference between fleshly feelings and spiritual feelings, because spiritual feelings are different, way different than fleshly. Fleshly feelings is always, absolutely always, a physical thing about old KJ. I have to discern, I have to understand that I can't let my fleshly feelings get in the way of my spiritual feelings. And those spiritual feelings, it always, 100% of the time, leads back to the glorification of my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. What can I do to glorify Him? What am I going to do where if somebody looked at what I did, it would lead back to the love of Jesus Christ? And I don't have to manipulate or do anything to make that happen. I leave that in God's hands. Hi, Melissa Bex. Hello, Aurora. My heart goes out to my brothers and sisters in Russia, okay? The people of Russia. My heart goes out to them. Those pure in heart will see God, says Bonnie Lee. It took me the loss of my little brother to open my eyes to that. It was a horrible year, but it opened my eyes. Good example, Bonnie Lee, and thank you for sharing that. Sometimes the most painful, traumatic things in our life end up really helping us in so many ways. It's like God's like, yep, that's happened to you. So I'm going to let something good happen out of it. Good morning, Calla Lily. Let me just give you this as an example. I try very hard in a humble way to focus on my spiritual life. When other people do things to me today, let's pick something here. When someone lies to me, say for instance, the first thing I think is, well, why are they lying? That's the first thing that comes in my mind. And it's usually over stupid shit that somebody will lie to me, right? And then I think, well, has this person lied to me before? And it's really not about the content of the lie itself. It's about whether or not I know for sure that this person has lied to me, right? Ain't no mistake. I've done my homework. I know for a fact that this person has lied to me. So I confront them. And I'm like, I know it's not about being right. It's like, I want to call this out so that this relationship with this person will continue to flourish. Because if they'll lie to you once over stupid shit and you let it go, just let it go because it's something stupid they lied about, then they'll keep doing it. And you don't want to see that happen. Because anytime, and hey, I've lied. We've all lied. So it's not about KJ up here on this pedestal saying, I don't lie. But you confront them and they deny it. And you've got empirical, factual proof of this stupid shit they're lying about. And you're even saying to them, well, listen, I know you did this for a fact. It's okay. I wouldn't be mad at you. I'm not mad because you initially lied to me. Let's bring this out into some truth here. Let's deal with the truth. And then the person continues to hold on to that lie because I guess in their own mind, They lied that initial lie, and they've got to hold on to it. They would rather hold on to that lie, because now it's not about lying over some stupid shit. It's about, I lied, and I don't want to face that I've lied. So the only way to get myself out of it is to hold on so tightly to that lie, and then from there say, and I'm saying, hey, listen, holding on to this lie is just going to ruin the relationship. And then they come back and say, no, you're the one ruining the relationship because you're accusing me of doing something I didn't do, when KJ knows factually that they did it. So not only have they initially lied, they're now holding tightly to the lie. And now what are they doing? Out of being defensive, they want to put this back on KJ, that I'm the reason, that I'm the one that's falsely accusing them of lying, when KJ knows that they lied. Okay? Just hear me out on this. So this person, whoever it may be, and this is just an example, this is just talking about it, this is trying to prove a point here. This person would rather hold tightly to that lie than save the friendship. And not only will they hold tightly to the lie, they're going to lie to other people about that scenario, whatever it may be. So they're lying to them too. But that's what it's not about stubbornness. It's about they just don't want to do the right thing. And I can't control that. And I sure as hell can't make somebody come clean. It's just a damn shame that the things that people go through in their relationships in life, that people can't say, hey, I've done some stupid shit myself. What I'm trying to say is that the initial lie could have been something so stupid. And yet this person just definitely doesn't want to, they just don't want to do the right thing. There's nothing I can do about it. And Gibson says a lie produces another, and it goes on and on. Yeah. But I'll tell you this, it wasn't what they lied about. It wasn't actually the first lie about it. I can get over that because I'm like, you know what? I've lied. But I'll tell you something. I come clean because it corrupts a person to hold on to a lie. I've done it. I've held on to lies in my past so many times. And I know what it does to me spiritually. I've had that experience. I might have that experience down the road, y'all. Who knows? But it's just a damn shame that the strength of not admitting to lying to somebody that they say they love you, the strength of that is more important than doing the right thing. The strength of it is more gripping than holding on to the relationship. Lies are harder to remember than the truth. I won't say I've never ever lied, but always come clean because even a dumb one eats me up inside. Right, Kathy Mama Bear. I mean, I'll tell you what, OKJ, I've read research about dishonesty. I want to know what I'm up against because it'll hit me, y'all. I can be dishonest. I can lie. And anyone on here says, I don't lie. I never lie. Sometimes people lie about tiny little minute things. They don't even realize they're doing it. But they do. There's been research that talks about people can lie up to 2 to 10 times a day and not even know they're doing it. Olive Healy, I don't like liars and I don't like thieves. Those two things are really hard for me. But I'll tell you, it goes full circle again back to this thing. If somebody lies to me and I catch them in a lie and I know I'm right, I don't just, the hell with you, My standard can't be so high that I'm like, they lied to me, I'm never going to be their friend again, or I'm never going to have nothing to do with them again. Because, okay, Jay, I've done the same things in my past. I mean, I've done it. So I am empathetic about it. But when the person wants to continue to hold on to the lie, they've lost a really, really important thing in their life for themselves. And that is honesty. And it does corrupt. And then I guess second tier would be I can't be around anyone that don't want to be honest. It ain't about lying to me finding out, and then I can't be around you anymore. No, I can forgive. We can work it out. We can understand it and move forward. Forget about it. Forgive and forget, right? Some people don't want to they want to forgive, but they don't want to forget. Well, when it comes to something like that, okay, Jay can move forward. But when the person wants to hold on to it, and I don't think the person would want to hold on to it because they want to be right. I think they're just too damn embarrassed to admit something, and that embarrassment is so much more important than the friendship, obviously. My standard of loving others comes with the understanding that we're all imperfect, that we all make mistakes, that everyone deserves another chance. It's not up to me to force that person to do the right thing. It's not but I cannot and will not be around people that cannot let go of a lie. They would rather turn it on its head and say, no, I didn't lie. You're accusing me of something I didn't do. Which is, it's beyond one little lie. One little stupid ass lie over something stupid. Why did I call it out? Well, I just wanted a better friendship. I knew I was in the right. Well, I can say this, Ann Gibson. Y'all know how much I love my mother. I love my mother. She's been passed away now for some little time now. She was everything to me. I love her. I miss her desperately. She didn't believe me. I don't know if she didn't believe me. I think it was she didn't want to face it. She didn't want to face it. She wanted to move forward. She knew if we were, in her own view of being old-fashioned, that if she had to say, yes, this happened to you, that it would have opened up this big thing where I would have had to go into therapy and do all these things. And at the time, she just wasn't able to do those things. And a small little part of me always felt damaged because of that. But I did not allow the fact that my mother didn't do anything about it to keep me from having the love and respect for my mother and the relationship with my mother. You know, I've got siblings that to this day, I'm sure they still feel like they felt years ago. You know, how I hurt my mother so much when I ran away from home at 15. But obviously, you know, KJ knows why I ran away from home. They'll never understand. Right, Nicole. I just think my mother she was in a kind of a denial. But make no mistake, this happened to me, and I don't give a damn what anybody says. I know what happened to me. I know exactly what happened to me. And you just didn't talk about these things back then. And you just, things like that happen. Well, hugs to you, Nicole. Yes, just me. My mother was from a different time. She was very old-fashioned. Extremely conservative. I mean, her answer for everything was to read the Bible, go to church, pray to God, and that was great advice. But sometimes when you're dealing with certain issues, you need a little different kind of help there. I know those things you speak of can heal so much. But I don't know, y'all. It's just, I've let all that go. Now that she's in heaven, I feel like this weight is lifted off of me. Like it's a little tiny bit of resentment over the years that was always there about like, why couldn't she have, it just goes back to what one of you said about if this wouldn't have happened, would I have been differently? That's one thing. It's another to say when this did happen to me, if I had been heard, if I had gotten help back as a child, as I was developing in my brain and everything else, yes, I know things would have been different. With that acknowledgement, it would have always been there. And maybe my mother knew that. Maybe she's like, well, if we acknowledge this, get you help, that will always be something part of the history of you. And it's always something you'll know. Yes, you had to go into therapy as a child and all that. Maybe she just didn't want that for me. Maybe she thought the pain, the wound of it would heal over time. Philly, when you say I told your mother about what had happened to you, not a word was said or mentioned again. It wasn't until later on when I grew into an adult. Whenever I would have problems, I always went to Mom. It was over other unrelated stuff. She'd get into it with me, wanting me to. She's always pushing me forward, never really delving into what it was I was telling her was bothering me, whatever it was, whether it was, I don't have any money or whatever it was. And she would try to move me forward and not really let me talk to her about it. And it would trigger that, and I would bring it up. She wouldn't have nothing to do with it, and it would it's almost like my way of being able to cut the conversation short, because I wasn't going to get her to. Maybe it was about, here I am venting to you, Mom, about these problems in my life. And maybe I just wanted her to wallow in it with me. I don't know. Just give me some good feedback, or at least let me know that she understood. And maybe she did understand. And maybe that was her reason of trying to just push me forward and not really talk about it. But it would trigger me because it would remind me of how she didn't really say anything after I told her. So, I don't know. Yes, Nicole. Yes, it was someone my mother knew. Maybe she thought the least said, the sooner mended. Olive, I think, that's probably a good way of putting it. I think you're probably right about that. Oh, I know, Olive. I think she knew. I really, in my heart of hearts, really feel like she knew. She had to have. There's no way that someone comes up a child comes up with something like that. For me, if they made out as if nothing happened, never mentioned again, that's how they dealt with these things in the past. Well, I feel good to hear these things now, Philly, because I felt so alone in it. I felt like, wow, what a freaking dysfunctional relationship between a parent and a daughter. To hear you say that, I kind of figured that, but I never had proof. But now that you're saying it, kind of makes me feel better. Just me, it was never my intention, and I understand what you're saying. It was never my intention to hurt my mother, to make her feel guilty about it. As many of you know, we've got a lot of parents, grandparents on here, but specifically parents. Y'all, we can't put our kids in a bubble and, they call them helicopter parents. And I was reading an article the other day where they said where parents are just too on top of their kids, it stunts the kids' ability to be independent and learn how to live life. So when I had children, one of the thoughts that always came into my mind was, what if I died? Would my children be able to have the skills they need to survive? And it really increased when my boys became young adults, or at least teens going into adulthood. I'm like, I've got to lay off the hammer. I do believe in strict discipline, but I had to lay off things and allow them to fail, allow them to fall down. They say part of a child learning to walk is they have to fall down in order to figure out bodily how to get back up on their feet again. Well, Miss DMC, the only thing I can say about that in terms of when it's ever brought up, a parent gets defensive and stuff. Looking back now, and this is just speaking for me, I was spinning my wheels. She wasn't going to come to a place that I needed her to come to. Just as if someone lies to me and wants to hold on to a lie, I can't make that person come to a place where they do the right thing. So, hi Curly Shirley. Hi Beach Lady. And that's got to be a very painful place to be, Beach Lady, where you've never told anyone. I am so thankful that I was able to at least let that out to my mother, whether she believed it or not. I did always know, because some children feel like when they think of it, they think it's all their fault and all that. No, I knew. I absolutely knew it was not my fault. I knew where the blame was supposed to be. And I'm thankful that I got through therapy. It took a long time. So what I'm saying is, Beach Lady, is if there is some way that you can talk to someone, doesn't have to be someone professional, and if you're unwilling to do that, sit down and write it out. Write exactly what happened. I don't care how painful it is to write out. Then take that, crumble it up, throw it in the damn garbage can, or burn it, or tear it up. That's just some advice. Not that that's going to cure it, but it helps. Well, I love you, Cindy Bullock. Well, here you go, Olive. When you say the world is such a horrible place, now it is. But I guarantee you, for all the evil that we see on all the news sites and all the social media and stuff, there are good people out here in the world. And that's exactly what evil wants us to feel. They want us to feel like all that's out here is bad, evil, so that we can live in what? Fear. You can't live in fear. Perfect love casts out fear. And no matter how much evil is in this world, God's power is omnipotent. It's never ending. It's everlasting. It's never changing. We have to focus. All roads lead back to God Almighty. Lean not into your own understanding, and in all ways acknowledge Him. He shall direct your paths. We have to stay focused on the truth, the life, the way, Jesus Christ. It's just like when we focus in on the bad things we've done in our life. We focus in on them, we are taking that power of our own self-will, and we're focusing in on the bad about ourselves because we're feeling bad for whatever reason. We need to figure out a reason why we feel bad, and then it's a vicious cycle because some of us suffer from depression, and because we feel bad, it lends us to look at those negative aspects of our life. It doesn't want us to look at anything that can heal us, make us feel better. The same thing goes for our perspective of the world. Make no mistake, y'all, this world has a lot of evil in it, but I guarantee you, that if you took all the evil of this world and put it all in a freaking in my front yard or whatever, God's love makes that evil look like a drop in the bucket. The evil has not encased us. Evil cannot overcome us. God's love showed us the victory through the death of His Son, Jesus Christ, on the cross. The victory over death. We have to die a physical death. Make no mistake, we all know we're going to die. But I'll tell you what, evil cannot do a damn thing about our spirits. If we accept Jesus, our spirits are alive and will live through all eternity. That's right, Curly Shirley. Satan wants you to focus in on them bad things. Make yourself feel bad. Make yourself feel like you're inadequate. Make yourself feel like, oh, I've got this and that, these medical conditions, or I'm older, or whatever. Nobody cares what I got to say. I haven't done shit in my life. I'm not worthy of anything. Give me a break. You are the only you're ever going to be. You are an original. If you choose to go down this negativity road that OKJ's walked down plenty of times, that's your choice. Nobody's going to be able to force you to do the right thing. And the right thing is to love who you are in all the healthy and right ways. That's the right thing to do. To give yourself a damn break. Look what we're dealing with, y'all, in this world. Know that God's power is so much more nourishing, can help us. My heart goes out to anyone who suffers physical pain day in and day out, or people that are limited because of maybe their station in life in terms of being older. They can't do the things they used to could do, or they're shut in. They can't get out. They can't make friends. They can't do all these things. My heart goes out to that, because I know that that's an easy way to focus in on something like that, to just open up this huge can of worms of I'm not good enough. Nobody cares about me. I'm telling you right here, right now, I don't give a damn whether somebody believes me or not. If you think that you're not loved in this world, I tell you here right now, OKJ loves you. God Almighty loves you. God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. And if that ain't enough for you, then something is really wrong. Because if you know God loves you, you will love yourself. You will try to do better for yourself, even in tiny baby steps. Y'all don't know How many times that old KJ wallowed, cried, felt so alone. Y'all see this life of this woman here in Tennessee? You know, I got a great husband. I love my children. Everything seems... Folks, it don't matter what you got or who's in your life if you can't handle the fact that you should love yourself with humility, with self-care. If you can't love yourself, well, hell, how in the hell can you love anybody else? And love is God. What I'm saying is for you to love yourself, you're allowing God into your life. He's the only love there is. Not none of this bullshit. Lori loves Chad. Chad loves Lori. Not how the world defines what love is. God is love. Period. End of sentence. Curly Shirley says it. Where there's a will, there's a way. And I guess the question is there's two kinds. Self-will, God's will. Which one you want? Which one you want? KJ wants God's will. But I get confused because God gave us self-will to be able to maneuver through life. I guarantee you I know exactly what self-will is when OKJ does something wrong. Something that's going to hurt me. Something that's going to make me feel bad about myself. That's self-will. Because I tell you as I sit here, not anything that ever good happens to OKJ. And I'm talking about pure, honest, truthful things. Comes from my self-will. Comes from God. Every good and perfect thing comes from above. Hello, Miss DMC. Well, that's wonderful, Susan Long. Susan Long is going to make this my best day today. It should be like that every day. You get up every day, you think the thoughts you do. I can speak for myself. How is this day going to go for me? A lot of times I look at what has happened yesterday instead of just, yes, there are things we have to know about yesterday or last week that helps us make decisions today. Don't get me wrong. I can't shut the door on the past. I used to think if only I could just forget everything that ever happened in the past. If only I could do that, everything would be fine. Well, I'll tell you what. All those terrible things that's happened in my life, whether someone caused them to me or whether I chose to do them, those things have made me a better person. Does it make me want to go out here today and maybe down the road and do those bad things again so something good will come out of it? No, because I have an awareness of what had happened and now I know that's made me a better person. You can't repeat that. Once you know what that has done for you in a good way, the adversity through strength and etc., that's the first time it hit OKJ. That's it. You get the knowledge, you move forward. It won't repeat. It won't repeat. Olive Heatley says, when I try again and again, I say it's in God's hands. And how many times has old KJ given it to God only to try to take it back? That is pathetic. I'm ashamed of that. It hurts me to know that I would even go there. But then again, the flesh is strong with old KJ. Have a great day, Sam Willow. And all of you, I love you very much. We never know what we're going to talk about on Coffee with KJ. I will get with y'all soon on another pre-record of the case out of Franklin, Tennessee. We'll go over some facts, things that I want to put out there in case somebody needs a little bit of justice through understanding. Y'all are the best of the best. You always will be, no matter what. No matter what. I love you. You take care and have a great weekend. We'll talk soon. And keep on looking.